Welcome back, everybody, to episode 18 of the TalkBall Tweakers podcast. I'm your host, Blake McQuarrie. I'm joined with my co-host, Toussaint Bancher, Jake Mazarski, and we have a guest for you guys today on our special edition NFL draft episode, where we will give all the insights and whatever else you guys need about the NFL draft. Tom Gorski is here.
Our 303.
One of these is the applause button. Let's go with that one.
That is not the pause button,
right,
but
guys.
I have a round of applause
we'll
right here.
So here's our resident 303 scout.
Yeah. Resident 303 scout.
And Timberwolves fan before we get into the draft.
Timberwolves fan. He's a Minnesota guy. He's a Vikings fan. So we're talking football today, so he's a Vikings fan.
Tom, anything you want to say? Welcome.
Anything that you want to open the show up with to say to all the tweakers out there.
Just glad to be here, man. Ready to talk some football. Let's get it.
Let's go.
Draft, craft, Lakers and fun. All right, cool. Let's talk football.
This guy, though, is a draft maestro. He has a whole spreadsheet of whatever the hell's going on with the draft, grades, and things like that. So we're going to get into it. So without further ado, let's talk ball. All right, first up, we are going to do our mock draft. So how are we doing this, boys? What do we want to do? First
go pick by pick and see
Tennessee.
What we all
pick by pick.
Tennessee
talk
Titans. First overall pick of the 2025 NFL draft. Tennessee Titans select
1, 2, 3. Cam Ward.
Pretty obvious.
I think Cam Ward. I think once they announced that private workout with him, and
have they done workouts with anyone else?
No, I think it was just
they didn't go to any other combo or any other workouts.
Yeah, they basically are telling everybody that we're drafting Cam Ward. So
cool. They ended up canceling straight up on Shedeur.
Yeah, they canceled on Shedeur. I think they canceled on somebody else.
Travis.
Yeah, Travis.
Yeah.
No, it's Cam Ward, and Cam Ward's going to be special in my opinion. I think the guy has so much zip on the ball. He's elusive in the pocket. I mean, played at Miami, so take everything with a grain of salt there. The reason Miami was bad was their defense. Their defense was terrible. I'm looking at Tom's screen since he has PFF. I mean, adjusted completion percentage 76.5. Mm-hmm. The guy doesn't miss a lot, and he could make any throw in the field. Yeah. And he did it in 3 stops too. He did it at Incarnate Ward. He did it at Washington State, where he was a monster, and then he did it at Miami, and he led the best Miami team in this recent century, pretty much. So, I think he's going to be a stud there. And the AFC South, I don't want to call it weak with quarterbacks because C.J. Stroud's there. But besides that, Cam Ward could totally be the best quarterback in that division.
Also got Trevor Lawrence. I mean, now he hasn't been good.
Yeah.
His ceiling is better than what he's played.
Yeah, I just wanted to show Cam Ward some love. I mean, there's no debate there. I just think the guy's a monster.
I think it really just depends on, how are they going to really fit him into the offense? What are they going to put around him?
Right.
That we all know that's how quarterbacks, that's really how you develop in this league.
Yeah.
Is Tennessee really the spot? To me, I'm always taking best player available when I have the number 1 pick. Mm-hmm. Sure, quarterback's a need, but did Will Levis really get a fair share? I mean, he wasn't great, but you should at least get 3 years.
Yeah.
You're really going to pass on Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter.
That's what I'm saying.
Arguably the 2 generational players in this draft.
Yeah.
For Cam Ward, who's had to take 3 stops. Very good and very easy. Yeah. It's not a very tough offense out there in Miami. It's really one read offense.
Exactly.
You're not running a pro style.
The one thing I'll push back with about the Titans taking Ward, Hunter and Carter are generational. We could all agree that.
Yeah.
Those aren't the main positions of need for Tennessee. They have a top 10 corner in the game in Les Snead. And I'm not Les Snead, L'Jarius Snead. They have edge rushers like Jeffrey Simmons. So quarterback is the most important position if they see something, but I totally get that point.
Yeah, I think just piggybacking off what Tom was saying was that's where I'm at with it is I love Cam Ward. I'm going to get that out the way right now. I absolutely love Cam Ward in the way that he plays football, but to me it's just I feel like they could have given Will Levis a little bit more go around. And a little bit just more time. Because it's also and it goes back to one thing that Tom Brady was saying in an interview. I think it was a couple years ago or last year or something, where he was the NFL now is designed to where they're not giving these quarterbacks enough time to develop. Mm-hmm. And it's they now want them to be ready their first game as a rookie to excel in this league, and that's just not how it works. Especially with quarterback, that you have to be the smartest person on the field.
Yeah.
And you have to know exactly what you're doing at all times and exactly what the defense is doing at all times. And 9 times out of 10, rookie quarterbacks aren't going to be ready for that. So it's you got to develop them into what you want them to be and what a very good quarterback is in the league. And my thing is like I love Cam Ward, but I just feel like Will Levis should have got a little bit more go around. But yeah, it's also like how are they going to fit him into the offense? What are they going to do to fit Cam Ward into the offense? What are they going to do now on offense to cater to Cam Ward's style? And what are they going to put around him? Because I mean, right now it's Treylon Burks and
Calvin Ridley. Tajay Spears.
Yeah. So
Tony
Pollard.
Yeah. I mean, there's a small potential there, but it's like
Cam Ward says they're the best talents in the league. So
that is a lie.
Yeah.
Cam Ward,
that man has
probably
CTE
got paid
already.
to say that. Had to have got paid to say that. But yeah.
I mean, do we also think that like Cam Ward's like this franchise altering player? Because isn't that what you got to be?
I think he can be. I think he has the potential to be, but that's the biggest. That's like, do you want to take with the NFL? It's like, do you want to take that risk in drafting that? You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because it's like also like where would he have ranked last year? Like, are you just taking him because it's a positional need, or do you really believe that he is the best player?
What are you gonna do? Tank for another?
I think it's
years?
a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of both there, though. I think it is. They are doing it based off of what they need. More importantly, I think that's what they're doing. But I think they also think that Cam Ward's the best quarterback in this draft. Do I think Cam Ward's the best quarterback in that draft? I don't know. I don't really know. I really like Shedeur. I really like Shedeur. As much as criticism, and we'll get into him in a little bit, but I really like Shedeur, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's those two. I think we could move on, but I think Cam Ward has the opportunity to be generational, and I think he's shown it at different stops.
The only thing I'm gonna say that to close it is that if you select Abdul Carter or you select, I can't think of his name.
Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter.
Yeah, Travis Hunter.
Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. Obviously, they're generational players, but like it doesn't move your franchise. Like, you need a quarterback to survive in football. It's just like it's a thing,
especially in the AFC.
And what are you going to do? You're going to tank for another year, and the only other quarterback next year that you know right now is certified to maybe be a star is Arch Manning, and Arch Manning's not going to the Titans,
and he might not even come out.
I don't think he comes out.
He's not going. He's not even going to the Titans.
No.
Like, so this is your best bet. So there's no point in taking Abdul Carter because what Abdul Carter's going to sack somebody, and you're still going to lose as many games.
Exactly.
Travis Hunter's still going to lose as many games. I know what you're saying about Will Levis. Maybe he should get another shot. No offense, the Titans have been terrible with drafting quarterbacks. They drafted Malik Willis second. They drafted him second, and they've both been kind of bad for them. So at this point, just draft number one overall quarterback. I don't have a problem with it. They drafted even if they chose Shedeur, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I'd be like, just select a quarterback and work with him. Allow him to blossom, and he like you said, I think he can be. I don't know if he is right now, but if they put a lot into him, he can be a star.
Yeah. All right, moving on to pick 2. Who do we think?
I'm going to go 2, 3, 4, I guess.
Yeah.
With Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I think this was pretty simple here. We're going to go Travis Hunter to the Browns.
Yeah.
You know, it feels a need. You need somebody outside of Jerry Jeudy there.
Yeah.
You know, and Cleveland, they need star power. You need someone to excite the city. And I think Kevin Stefanski, I think they're going to really allow Travis Hunter to try on both sides of the ball. Mm-hmm. And as Daniel Jeremiah said, Hunter's going to major in wide receiver and minor in defensive back.
Yeah.
And you're going to be able to utilize him on the offense more because you have Tillman, who he projects to be on the outside, but he doesn't really move that offense. You need a wide receiver that's going to really create separation. And Travis Hunter, I would argue, was a better prospect at the receiver position coming out than Marvin last year.
Yeah.
Neighbors, it would be tough because I love Neighbors a lot, but I mean, Hunter is he's so generational. I mean, he's the greatest college football player we've seen. He just won the Heisman, won on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, we've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
So I just think Travis Hunter makes a lot of sense, and you don't. Abdul Carter would be intriguing. I'm not gonna lie. Team up with Myles Garrett, but
That'd be a nasty.
Yeah, that'd be gross.
It is. But then on the other hand, on the flip side, I would also argue that Travis Hunter and Denzel Ward's pretty nasty.
Yeah, and
too.
Martin Emerson and Greg Newsome.
Yeah.
Like that's really good.
No, it's disgusting.
And Andrew Berry loves good football players, and he loves exciting players. I think that's what Hunter brings here. He's gonna be quarterback's best friend, and if Cleveland really wanted to, they could probably trade up for another quarterback, bring in Kirko. You get Hunter, Jeudy, and Njoku. Maybe you draft a running back.
Yeah.
Some point in the draft, that offense, starts clicking a little bit.
3. Them Giants.
Man, this is such a tough one. And, you know, at first everyone was like, oh, they're going to get Shedeur. They're going to get Shedeur. And I said, okay, well, if they're going to get Shedeur, that's fine. Then they obviously signed Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson.
Right.
And I took another look at it, and people immediately switched over. They were like, oh, no, obviously they're taking Abdul Carter. I don't know if they're taking Abdul Carter because here's the first reason. You look at Jameis Winston, he's obviously going to be your backup. He's not starting. Russell Wilson, you give him 1 year. You draft Shedeur, and you, like you said, what did Tom Brady say? Let him sit. You sit Shedeur for 1 year. You let him learn under Russ, who even Russ hasn't been what he's been. He's still won a Super Bowl, been to 2. He's a vet. He knows how to play the game. You have him learn under a certified, you know, a winner, somebody who's won in his career.
Yep.
And then you have Shedeur come in the next year, and you still have Jameis as your backup. It's a good plan.
Yeah.
Now,
Russell Wilson won the Super Bowl in that stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the thing about it is, you know, I've been monitoring kind of Dable and what he's been saying and what the Giants. Here's the thing. I think the Giants are they're tense about this because obviously you blew the Saquon deal. Everyone, you're the laughing stock of the league. We need a quarterback. You need somebody who's going to go in there and win games for you. But also, I mean, you pair Kayvon Thibodeau with Abdul Carter. It's nasty.
And they already have Brian Burns too.
Yeah. So like I said, I would prefer for them to draft Shedeur. Do I think they're going to draft Shedeur? Probably not, because I don't think they really want to miss.
Yeah.
And I think they want something that's guaranteed to win them, to get them, you know, wins other than the quarterback position. I think they're afraid to pull that trigger just because they pulled it with Saquon and it backfired. So I don't know if they were like, oh, Shedeur. And then if Shedeur fails, guess what? Obviously Shane is gone and the ownership is another laughing stock. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to say Abdul Carter.
Yeah, I'm sorry I keep interrupting, and we'll keep moving this. I mean, Joe Shane and Brian Dable have to win right now. They're out if they don't win this year.
They absolutely
Yeah, they're out if they don't win this year.
Yeah.
So,
100%.
yeah.
All right. Pick 4, the New England Patriots. This one's tough because, I mean, like, it's just with the Patriots, it's like they're trying to get back to where they were for so long, and it's just going to take them a long time to get there. And it's like, are they ever going to get there? I don't think they go skilled. I think they go skilled if Travis is still there, and Travis, there's no way Travis is still there. So I think they go Will Campbell from LSU. I think protecting Drake May, because obviously they're committed to Drake May.
They need a lineman. They rated 30th in the league.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. They really need somebody to protect Drake May, and they need some star power up there. And Will Campbell's a dog. Will Campbell is a dog,
Will Campbell's
bro.
An absolute dog.
He's a dog. There's like a little edit on TikTok or something that it's like Will Campbell, and then it's like his highlights, but it's also him talking like after games in the locker room and shit. Bro,
he's that guy.
Will Campbell's that guy, dog.
Yeah, dude.
I'm not gonna lie. So
he's exactly who you want. Like,
no, like he's exactly who you want on the offensive line protecting you if you're a quarterback, if you're a running back. So
exactly.
I go with Will Campbell. I love his size too. I think they got it right here.
He fits the Mike Vrabel system so much.
6'6", 319. Vrabel's gonna love him, and I think he'll love Vrabes too. But
he just does all the right things.
Yeah, he does all the right things.
Comes in the work. He just
absolutely.
He's only given up 4 sacks.
Bro, he was manhandling.
Joe Alt-esque of like last year.
Yeah, exactly. He was manhandling every defensive lineman this year at LSU.
Everywhere.
So,
and also, if you look at the Patriots, they pretty much addressed every other area in free agency. They spent the most money.
Yeah.
They brought in guys like Stephon Diggs, Milton Williams, Carlton Davis.
Exactly.
They brought in Morgan Moses, who's a tackle. But, like, is he your tackle of the future? No, he's a stopgap.
Exactly.
And so, and I know a bunch about stopgaps, trust me. So, like, let's go with them. I'm going to let someone else do 5 because I want to do number 7 for the Jets because, I mean, let's be honest, I'm going to talk about the Jets. So, I'm going to throw number 5 to Toussaint because he was supposed to do 7, and I'll do him go 5.
This is a really tough spot because, one, I could see Jacksonville moving down, trying to get more picks because they need a lot. A lot of their receivers of the last couple of years, they've cut a lot of them. A lot of their contracts have up. They haven't re-signed people. So I feel like they need receivers. Now, I thought about this earlier, and I was like, would it be a stretch to McMillan at 5, and I don't know if they're willing to pull that because his draft stock has plummeted. But I was looking at receivers and I was like, who can they pick? But I don't think they're going to pick a receiver.
Tett's the best by far in this class. By far.
I just don't know who they'd be willing to pick because they have so many holes. Like Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has Travis Etienne, so he.
And it's like Etienne didn't even pan out last year. Like
because he's always hurt. Like Tank Bigsby had a higher rushing efficiency.
Exactly.
And they have Brian Thomas Jr., who's an absolute monster.
Yeah, but
that's why I'm on the other side.
But past him, they don't have anybody. They don't have like a solid number 2 that you're like, oh yeah. Like,
don't think we don't have any Gabe Davis fans here, do we?
No.
Parker Washington.
Shout out Griff. And like I know
they traded away Christian Kirk, right?
They cut him. Oh no, they traded him.
They traded him away.
Ingram's gone. The tight end.
Ingram's gone.
They might go Tyler Warren.
They could go Tet.
They might go Tyler Warren.
That is sneaky.
No, that's sneaky. I'm not gonna lie. I would like that.
I'd love to see them trade with Chicago. Chicago comes up to 5, drafts Genty, and then you're more in Tet territory and like 10.
I think they could trade to try to get some more assets out of
so
them.
I'm gonna go. And
maybe even get Swift out of that trade as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna go. Either Tyler Warren or they trade for that 5th, or the Bears trade for that 5th.
I do like the
take Genty
Tet though, because I think that's a little sneaky because they did get Liam Cohen from Tampa Bay.
Yep.
And Tet has been often compared to a Drake London, but Mike Evans.
Yeah.
And Liam Cohen.
Exactly. Yeah.
You want to get your own Mike Evans for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Can you pull up the Tet PFF stats, because this is a guy he's an absolute dog, and you don't even need stats to prove how good he is. He's 6'5". He will get every ball. Arizona wasn't good.
Just watch him before games.
Just watch him. The guy is an absolute monster. 1,319 yards, 8 touchdowns this season. Like
on a team that didn't do well.
Had 1,400 the year before. Like, he's a monster, and analytics will show that. And is his stock falling because he said he doesn't like watching football outside of football? He's not the only one.
To be fair, I'm about to say, Aunt Lily said basketball wasn't his passion, and Ant is the guy.
You want to be a rapper.
And Ant is the guy now.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to go either McMillan, Tyler Warren, or they trade.
Pick it.
Dang. I'm going to go trade because I think they're going to move down and try and get more because they need more receivers.
Trade with?
Chicago. Because I think Chicago is hunting to try and go up above Raiders. I think they want to go above Raiders because everyone says the Raiders are going to pick Genty.
This is the Hector trade pod, and I think it's time to talk about it. So let's clock this in. Tom's doing it. The Jacksonville Jaguars trade. We're not going to go into conditions. We're just going to say there's stuff. There's a pick swap. Chicago Bears are now at 5.
Yeah. And they take Genty.
They take Ashton Genty.
So Bears are at what now? 10?
Jaguars are
10 now.
Ashton Genty. Do we even need to talk about the guy so much? He's a monster. I'll leave it at that.
Bro, he's literally.
If you watch college football, you know who he is.
You watch college football.
He grades out very well.
He's a dog.
My only argument is he generational? I mean, we're talking about a guy you're taking top 5 in this draft with as deep as this running back class is.
Yeah.
Where how big of the gap is, say, 1, you're going to trade up from 10 Chicago to 5. That's going to cost you at least one of your second round picks, a future second probably. Mm-hmm. For a guy that, say, you could get a Hampton later on, or you could sit where you're at, take Hampton. You could get a Henderson in the second, a Judkins in the second. Where is the gap really that steep? And that's a question that Ben Johnson's going to need to ask himself and the running back coaches. And because you have Swift there, if the Jags take Genty, hey, ETN becomes available for probably a 5th round pick. So is running back really the positional need? But we know Ben Johnson. You guys are Detroit fans,
Yeah.
Ashton Genty low key is the perfect mix of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Okay. The guy could take off like lightning. I don't have his 40 stats up, but I'm sure it was a 4.344. He didn't run the 40. Oh, no, even better. No, even better. And how many missed tackles did he have? How many yards after contact? All that.
He had more yards after contact than most running backs had all
first in the league.
1,970 yards after contact. I mean, for the Bears, insane. It just makes so much sense. And he's a bell cow. And there's not a lot of bell cows in this league anymore.
Wait, did we just wait? Are we talking about the Bears or are we talking about
the Bears?
We're talking about Bears.
Bears taking Genty. We're talking about a bit.
Okay, we're just talking about because I was about to say we missed 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Oh no.
My last concern also is for Genty is there's a certain threshold you want to look for running backs. from a size standpoint.
That is true.
He's 5'8". That's a little small for me.
It's true.
So that's where I'm at is, because
Exactly.
Bijan, he was like 5'11", 6 foot area. Gibbs around 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot. That's the size you want. 5'10" to probably 6 foot. You don't want to go above that.
And
so
NFL
are we concerned about that?
And NFL defensive line, when he hits that hole, if he
not
gets
going
hit.
to,
No,
you're also
exactly.
you're also not going against Wyoming, Mac.
It's true.
Sure, he had the great Oregon game, but like that's why I need to ask myself, is he truly generational?
Penn State sort of clamped him.
That was my thing, and it's also like it's kind of hard to evaluate running backs. Like obviously you can evaluate their vitals and their skills and like their vision, but when it comes to who they're playing against, it's college football at the end of the day, and pros are different. That's a different sea of animals right there. So I remember talking to somebody about it, but basically it was just like, like I like Genty and I love what he looks like on tape and what he's about, but it's just so hard to evaluate running backs, man, when they're coming from college to pro ball, because pro ball is just so different. And you're not playing against the same guys that you are in college than you are in pros, so it's tough to evaluate running backs.
Most people in the Mountain West aren't going to end
You're
up
taking a risk. You're taking a big risk drafting running backs.
Yeah, most people in this Mountain West aren't starting on the Packers.
No,
so.
so that's the bad thing about it, but it is what it is.
See here, we had
Pick six, Tom Gorski.
Oof, Raiders. I think Pete Carroll, John Spytek are pretty happy with the Jaguars trading this pick here, because I think they were pretty comfortable with Armand Membu from Missouri, but I don't think they could pass up on Mason Graham. I think that's what I'm going to go. Mason Graham from Michigan.
With Crosby would be nasty.
And Christian Wilkins in the interior, Malcolm Kuntz on the other edge rusher, where they have a lot of faith, from my understanding, in DJ Glaze, who they took, I believe, in the 3rd or 4th round last year.
Yeah.
So you got to beef up that defense. I mean, you're going against Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert,
exactly.
Bo Nix, and the Broncos are going to probably be addressing the running back. They're looking good, where you're going to need to clog that gap, and you're telling me Christian Wilkins and Mason Graham are in the interior with Crosby on the outside.
So
I don't see how you pass that up.
Is Graham a pass rusher or a run stopper?
nasty.
He is both.
He's both.
He is just I would argue.
I'd argue more the run, just because.
Yeah. I would actually argue in this draft right now, if I had to just rank these players, he might be 3rd on my board behind Hunter and Carter, just because you know what you're getting. He is so safe.
An animal.
He is a dog.
He is an animal.
I mean, he checks every box. He's got a great character. He's a hard worker. You know what you're getting, and he's just such a safe player. And I think that's something the Raiders haven't really had the opportunity to really do. That's what Carroll and them are going to bring in. Like they find dudes, they get their potential,
right?
And I just think it just makes so much sense. I know you want to protect Geno, but man, Mason Graham is just that's who the Jags should take. They need to fix that defensive line as badly as we could all breathe fresh air. Yeah, that's how bad it is.
They can protect. They can protect Geno all they want. It's not going to help them win the division.
This is a franchise cornerstone. This is a guy that you're going to give multiple fat deals to. I mean, he's a 10-year vet in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
can't
100%.
miss. Cannot miss.
Very high floor.
He's a dog.
All right, Mason Graham to the Raiders. 7 pod. If you've been watching me for the past 3 minutes, Juan Soto just threw someone out at home, so that's why I've been looking at my computer. Look, I've talked about the Jets a lot. I could crap on them all they want. Looking at the board, I would love for them to take Ted McMillan here. It's about him and Garrett Wilson would be so nasty. Their second receiver is Alan Lazard. After that, it's Xavier Gibson. They lost Devontae Adams. There's a gaping hole there. There's also a gaping hole at offensive tackle. You have Olu Fashanu on one side, and the other one, I do think they go with Armand Membu. Very safe prospect, good in both pass and run protection. The Jets had the least carries in the NFL last year, and I think all this Breece Hall rumors are smoke. I don't know if you guys agree, but Breece Hall, in my opinion, is still a top 10 running back talent in the league. We could argue that.
We could argue that a different day, but...
Cool. We'll argue
we can argue that a different day.
We'll argue it a different day. I'll leave you with this. Breece Hall had only over 15 carries once this season. He had 140 yards, and then we'll leave it at that. Was 4th in the NFL in scrimmage yards the year after tearing his ACL. Anyway, Membu, 10 years as their right tackle. Him and Fashanu, no matter who the Jets have back there, whether it's Justin Fields, someone else, I just think this makes the most sense, and I think with everything that's transpired in New York, I think Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn want something safe, and Membu fits the Aaron Glenn culture.
Yeah.
So let's go Armand Membu to Gangrene.
All right.
That brings Carolina up.
Carolina. Oh boy, these guys. Because wow.
They could legit grab anybody.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That, like,
They need everything.
I feel like they're gonna go defense for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, offensively, it's Bryce Young. They got Xavier Leggett.
Thielen.
You got Thielen. Thielen's just.
Jalen Coker
about that a
kind of broke
different
out
day.
last year. So
I like Coker. Coker.
Offensive line's pretty beefed up.
Yeah, so I think they go defense for sure. I'm seeing Jalen Walker from Georgia.
Love him.
I think one of the Georgia boys, Michael Williams. I mean, draft a Georgia boy. Yeah. I don't know.
They're all dogs.
I really don't know who they're going to draft. Honestly, it's going to be defense for sure. I could see one of those guys though. That's who I would advise they draft is a Georgia Bulldog, because if you didn't know, the Super Bowl champions this year had 6 of them on defense, and 4 of them were absolutely.
I still don't know how Jalen Carter fell to the Eagles, because the Bears are a stupid organization.
He had character off the field issues.
His character off the field issues. So I would say one of those. I'll go with Jalen Walker. I'll go with Jalen Walker at linebacker.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll do Jalen Walker at linebacker.
He's such a freak, man.
Yeah, he's a monster.
I'll do that right there. I mean, like, it's just also like you're one of those that you play him inside, play him outside, play him at edge. You know,
if you watched him at Georgia, he was the most noticeable guy.
Oh, everywhere. He was everywhere.
Yeah.
He was everywhere on the field for Georgia. Absolutely everywhere.
Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if he goes as high as 5 to the Jaguars.
I could see him going higher too. Yeah.
We have the guy from the Rams. I forgot his name. He's a young guy where it's like, you know what? I want a guy that could just do everything.
The Jaguars love.
Talking about Brandon Fisk?
No.
Jared
Their new their GM. He's like 30.
Oh, you're talking about the GM.
Like
I think
35 years old.
He's young. Yeah, he's a young guy.
He's really young, and he's Jalen Walker is just. I mean, he's a top 5 to 7 player in this draft.
Yeah.
Such a freak. He's just so. We're seeing like receivers now, like Travis Hunter, wide receiver corner. We're just seeing athletes in the NFL, and that's exactly what Jalen Walker is.
Yeah.
We're maybe 10 years from now, we're gonna have guys just play any position possible.
Exactly. That's who he is. And I like that you brought that up about the Jaguars. They love drafting defensive guys.
Yeah.
So I think if they don't do that Bears trade and they really like Jalen Walker and they really want him, they're not going to trade that pick away, and Jalen Walker could be a 5th pick in this. this
Jalen Walker with Foye Oluokun in the middle. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
That would go crazy.
Yeah. So, I think Carolina takes them if it goes how we just said, but I could see Jacksonville actually taking it now that you just mentioned that. So, number 9, the Saints.
Yeah, that's me. New Orleans is a tough one. Because there's really an area of need almost everywhere, at least on the offensive side of the ball. From everything that has come out, they're going to run it back with Derek Carr.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And it comes between Tet and Tyler Warren, because neither have been picked so far, right?
Yeah.
Gosh.
I won't rule out defense either. Man.
I wouldn't rule out defense. I just think they need to do it.
Yeah.
The Saints have such a glaring hole at both those positions. I think there's more of an apparent one at tight end, because Taysom Hill's a gadget guy. He's not your first tight end, and Foster Moreau is fine. Tyler Warren can change a team if he pans out. You saw the Raiders with Brock Bowers. You saw...
Yeah.
I don't want to put Kyle Pitts in the same sentence as Brock Bowers, but he's good. He's talented. Mm-hmm. And these tight ends are talented. If you saw what Tyler Warren did at Penn State from game 1 to the college football playoff semifinal against Notre Dame, which was one of the best defenses in the country, he's good. Let's go Tyler Warren to the Saints. And I think that sets up what we talked about earlier. So.
I like that.
Yeah, that leaves me with the Jags here. I think if this happens on draft day, I think Jags are pretty happy. I think they feel a little better taking Tet McMillan here at 10 instead of, say, 5. I would have loved to go defense here, but McMillan's just sitting on the board here. There's not enough. Like, Jahad Campbell has medical issues. I don't think they really need a corner yet. Like, I could be talked into Will Johnson, But no, I think Ted McMillan's got to be the guy. You need to fix Trevor Lawrence because you just gave him this really massive big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, we traded Christian Kirk away. We got Brenton Strange at tight end. He's a second-year guy. We can't put much faith in him. Just give him some ballers. Brian Thomas Jr., he worked out well last year. Ted McMillan, I have some concerns with Ted personally, just at this level. I don't I question his ability to separate.
Yeah.
Because Arizona is just a run and go offense.
He's a go up and get it type of guy.
Yeah. And I want to know more about his route tree. Can he run a dig? If I give him a screen pass, is he not going to get hit in the backfield? It's not as elusive enough.
That's my thing with him. Exactly, is the route running. It's like, can he run routes effectively? That's very important for a wide receiver in the National Football League, because it's not college ball. You can't just go up and get it in the NFL.
Yeah,
like not everyone's going up to get it. You're not Mike Evans. You're not Calvin Johnson.
Because like right here, like just from some of the data I have, Ted was great against zone last year. 81% success rate, but against man coverage, it's 70.4%.
Yeah,
it's kind of little
There's a
mid
dip there.
Yeah,
that's kind of an issue because you're going up against. These are big boys,
Exactly.
Why haven't you're in the AFC? What if you got what if you got Patrick Surtain, Sauce, going you against man?
Exactly.
When you're taking top 10, you are expected to be this alpha, this guy that's going to be a game changer.
You got to deliver.
Yeah,
you got to deliver. You got to be able to deliver.
Totally.
So coaching will be a big factor.
Huge.
Yeah.
And I think that it would be favorable for him. Look, I've talked really positive about him this entire podcast. I do have my doubts, but one, he wouldn't be the wide receiver one. It would be Brian Thomas Jr., third in the NFL in receiving yards, third in offensive rookie of the year, because there were two other LSU freaks there.
Exactly.
If Ted McMillan goes to the Jaguars, I see a worse version of Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, like a guy that could really do it all and someone that can go up and get it with a young quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. I think that makes a lot of sense. And also, Liam Cohn's coming from a place where they utilize two stud wide receivers. Like Tom mentioned earlier, a guy who could go up and get it in Mike Evans. The design plays for him most of the 1,000-yard seasons back to back to back. I mean, he has had 1,000 yards since high school. And then Chris Godwin, gadget guy. I could see that happening, especially because the Jaguars lack depth behind Brian Thomas Jr. The one other thing I'll push back on, a lot of Tet's route running percentages might be lower because Arizona was one of the worst pass blocking teams in college football. I'll leave it at that. My bad.
Moving on to what? The Colts?
11. Niners.
Niners.
Oh, Niners?
Yeah, Toussaint 11. It's tough.
It's really hard because the 49ers let go of a lot of players in the offseason. A lot of them defensive. Javon Hargrave.
Check out TalkBall Tweakers episode 13 to see everybody they lost. Continue.
Leonard Floyd was released. Huafunga signed elsewhere. Greenlaw, Banks, Ward. A lot of their defensive players signed elsewhere or were traded. And so it's hard for me because they need another corner, but they also need they don't necessarily need a linebacker, but they could use one. They could also use someone on the defensive line.
Yeah.
I am going with a surprise pick. I'm going to say Will Johnson.
Ooh, okay.
I don't think that's a surprise at all.
Yeah,
I actually like that.
I just know a lot of people didn't have them picking him. That's why I said surprise.
Yeah.
It's not really a surprise because he's obviously the best pure corner in college football.
If he's healthy, he's a top 5 pick.
Yeah, he's fallen too far for me.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said
he's fallen way too far.
That's why I said it's an interesting pick because people have him going now in at the beginning they had him going top 5. Then he dropped to mid first. Then now he's 20th.
Dude, Schrags has him going to Detroit at 28.
That's what I'm saying.
If Will Johnson makes it to the Detroit Lions,
CBS has him at
CBS
has him at 29 to Washington.
That's crazy. But I think the Niners are
it's insane.
Travarius Ward walked out the door to go to the Colts. So why not just draft
the Lions get?
Think of how many cornerbacks have done well with the San Francisco 49ers in our lifetimes.
Yeah.
Whether they were young or whether they were old. And look at Demo Lenore, who's now one of the highest paid corners in the league. He was a project. Imagine if they get Will Johnson, who he had the same amount of pick sixes as Alex Orji did passing touchdowns or something like that.
So sad.
Yeah, and Will Johnson was a high recruit too. If we're going down that profile, the guy is just a freak. He's talented. He's fast. He could break on the ball so well.
Didn't he have more scored touchdowns than touchdowns allowed in his career?
Yeah, he did.
So he's nasty. So I think the Niners are going to choose him just off the fact that
Love
they
it.
looked at Lenore's gone, Ward Is Lenore gone?
I think he allowed one.
Lenore's there. No, Lenore 5 for 98.
Okay, yeah. Ward is gone. Ward went
What
to the
was the
Colts.
stat with Will Johnson? He allowed one touchdown this year, or
One
one
touchdown this
touchdown
year.
in the last 2 years.
Yeah, one in the last 2 actually.
It was one in the last 2
He didn't allow a single
years.
touchdown in his year. The year Michigan won the national championship.
That's so
And
gross.
by the way, you got to look at his stat line against Romo Dunze and Jalen McMillan.
Oh
and
my gosh.
Michael
He was big time.
Penix.
He was locked
That
in.
was
Oh
big
my
time.
gosh.
And then also in a division, the NFC West, that has quarterbacks that can flat out sling it. Matthew Stafford,
And they got
Sam Darnold, and Kyler Murray.
Of
course, yeah, yeah.
They also
You need
have-
a corner.
They also have really good receivers in that, or really good receivers in that division.
Yeah.
You got
you need
Puka Nacua and you got JSN.
Cooper's Cup.
Yeah,
still.
Yeah.
up there, Mar.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp.
Devontae Adams.
Right. So they need defense.
They need
Sam
size.
Darnold.
They need size.
They do need size.
Sorry, guys.
All right, moving to 12, the Dallas Cowboys.
Boy, oh boy.
You.
I think they clearly need
Just
what?
bad picks all
I mean, they clearly need. That's actually a good. Are you talking about the person or like the
No,
Cowboys?
I'm saying like the Cowboys.
Oh,
Gross.
they need obviously a running back very badly.
Yeah.
I think they're not going to take one if Gentry's not available. Which
I mean, do they really need one?
Yeah, because
Badly,
Dak.
though?
No, because
yeah.
I
think-
no. The stat is if Dak if Dak
think they
has more
do.
than 35 passes a game without a good running game. If he has 45 passes, no, if he has above 35 passes, his completion percentage like lowers.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he needs a running
Yeah.
back to survive because he's a B quarterback at best.
Yeah.
They need a running back.
No,
needs one.
I'm not completely out on Javonte Williams just yet. I think he's 2 years removed from.
They
the
did
injury.
sign
Cardinals.
Javonte, and
Yeah, they
You
signed
could
him for $3
draft the
million.
Henderson or someone in the second round.
I like Javonte. I do. I just.
I mean, Rico Dowdle had 1,000 yards. You're telling me Javonte can't?
It's just like those guys, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
Rico Dotto didn't
Would
do
we?
jack shit.
Okay, this
Yeah.
might be phrased better. Would we say that running back is more important than say wide receiver 2?
No.
For Dallas,
You know what I mean?
it depends on the
Like,
organization.
if they want to get him some help.
No, receiver's more important, but I'm saying Dak still needs.
I
a
don't
running
think they
back.
go receiver though. That's the thing.
I don't think they go receiver either.
I think they
Okay.
go
Unless
offensive
Ted's there.
line.
If
They
Ted's
need
there,
skill positions. They're not going to select
if
it. Though.
Ted McMillan
This
is
is why I
there,
said
I will
it's
see him
gross,
going
because they
there.
got a guard out there on the mock draft. They need
Yeah.
a receiver and or a running back.
Well, because they also need a guard.
line.
They do need a guard.
They need offensive
I
line.
know,
though.
but would you rather throw to CD and nobody else, or would you rather pick a guard and you still throwing to CD and nobody else? I know Dak would rather be protected, but like he also needs to throw to somebody so he
Yeah.
can grab touchdowns.
I wouldn't put it past Jerry Jones to fall in love with the whole Texas thing with like a Matthew Golden.
That's what
keep him
people
in
say.
town. Keep
I've
him
been
here.
seeing. I've been seeing Golden,
Yeah.
and I'm not opposed
He's
to
a
that.
speedster.
Jerry Jones has a history of just picking wide receivers to pick them.
4.2, 940.
They didn't need
He's a
CeeDee Lamb.
blazer.
Yeah, they didn't need CeeDee Lamb, and
that's
then he
not-
took him.
I mean, I don't know. I think.
They need CD now.
I think.
Yeah. It's a tough spot. This
I'm-
is a McMillan territory if he's there 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
No,
I can see him
I
taking
think if
McMillan.
McMillan's there, they're taking him.
I feel like they're gonna draft by name in terms of who's still there.
No matter the position.
Yeah,
No,
Oh, okay.
I think if there's not a name that they like, if a name that they like is not still there, I think they go offensive line. I think it's Booker from Alabama. But
Who was their offensive line pick from like last? Tyler Guyton.
Yeah,
Is
they
that
took
it?
him.
Yeah, I got him.
Yeah.
He's a left tackle.
He's been on. He's been
Tyler
on-
Smith's at like right or left or right tackle. Like I think
Yeah.
they're both at tackle.
yeah.
yeah,
He's been
Going
on.
Tyler
Zach
Booker.
Martin's obviously gone.
They
I
wasted that
wanted
money.
Booker to
Saturday.
Minnesota. I wanted Booker to Minnesota. Yeah, that's JJ McCarthy's high school teammate.
yeah. I'm gonna go
You know
Booker.
what
I'm
I
gonna go
mean?
Booker. I just
Yeah.
don't
Nah,
see him.
don't
I
talk
see
about
him
JJ
drafting him.
McCarthy. They'll start going crazy. Like we're not doing this.
I love JJ.
We're at Miami at 13.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, the Dolphins have so many holes. I mean, the Tua Tagovailoa, his health is the main priority. I think the Dolphins could be a trendy pick to pick Shador Sanders, but they can't afford a luxury pick right now. They just can't. There's way too many holes. Mike McDaniel probably has 2 years left before they pull the plug on him, honestly. And if Jalen Ramsey's getting traded, which I think he will, you have just wide holes there. Your best corner's probably like Cam Smith or Storm Duck. I don't think they brought in anyone in free agency. Let's get Jahdae Barron from Texas, Jim Thorpe Award winner, one of the best guys and one of the best corners in college football. I'm pretty sure he led all of college football in picks.
Yeah.
Texas was the number 3 graded offense behind Ohio State and Notre Dame, who made the national championship. Barron will go up and get any ball. can press you, can play zone, can do whatever. I just think he works out, especially with Vic Fangio.
You know who his comp is?
Is it Saul? No, I was going to say he's too small.
Cooper DeJean. At least for the ESPN one, it's
okay.
I see a lot of Byron Murphy Jr. in his game because he can play inside, outside. But I mean, this guy is just a menace in man-to-man coverage.
Yeah,
I mean, if anyone really cares about PFF, I mean, we're talking about a guy that has a 91.1 coverage grade, 83.4 run defense grade.
PFF says
54.4 completion percentage allowed. His man coverage is but his zone coverage is phenomenal. This is going to be an absolute ball hawk in this league.
Yeah.
And if you could trade Jalen Ramsey and this is your consolation prize, okay, well, we'll get younger with Jadair Barron.
Yeah.
I think you're feeling really good.
Yeah. No, I fully agree with you there. Fully agree with you.
Let's see here. Can I switch my picks and someone take the Colts? Because I have a crazy idea that I want to do it.
All right, cool.
I can do the Colts. It's not
do Colts? Okay, cool.
We now bring in...
Yeah, where's Lunga when you need him?
Yeah, right.
What do the Colts need? Well, Colts were bad all around last year. That's mainly due to Anthony Richardson only throwing 50% of... completing only 50% of his passes.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, so in the mock draft, they have Tyler Warren.
He's not there.
That's what
He's
I'm
not there. He's not there. So
Loveland's there, though.
That's true. Did we pick him?
Well, I picked Warren for the Saints.
Warren
That's right. That's right. Okay. We should have been writing this down.
Thomas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. It's been a long day.
It has been a long day.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a long week and it's Wednesday. That's what I got to say.
I'm going to go with, I think they need offensive help.
That might be my future.
It's like their receivers are good, but they're not good enough.
They have 4 wide receivers who pretty much to me are in the all the same level. Michael Pittman Jr., Adonai Mitchell, Alec Pierce, and Josh Downs. None of them are elite. Yeah,
I don't want to hear any Josh Downs. Hey, man, I love
Josh Downs.
Josh Downs.
I'm a UNC fan. I love Josh Downs. I don't.
It's really hard for me to pick for them because it's like they both need a lot and don't need a lot at the same time.
Yeah.
I feel like the safe pick is offensive line to help. But I'm going to go defense. Okay. They definitely need a pass rusher. Yeah. Did somebody pick Michael Williams already? I'm going to go Michael Williams. I don't think you can go wrong with a Georgia
Damn,
Bulldog.
yeah, how we have Michael Williams slip like this?
I don't know. But like you said, Georgia Bulldogs, majority of them are just animals. Yep. And so he is 6'5", 260. His pro comp is Trayvon Walker. He's just an animal. He gets to it, and so he's very quick he's very quick. He's got very active hands. I really like him as a pick. It was Darius Leonard that they had gotten.
Yeah, Shaq Leonard.
Yeah, Shaq Leonard. And so it was like one of those things where they need defense. But they're picking. It's weird because they're in this mid spot where their players that they've drafted aren't bad, but they aren't great. And it's like they do need defense. They just got Ward for their corner for their DB room, and so I'm gonna go Michael Williams.
Yeah, I like it. I'm very curious to see what they do because Michael Williams to me is his dream spot. I think is kind of New Orleans, but just based off this mock, I mean Loveland's would be really intriguing just to have more weapons around there. Mm-hmm. But I mean if you could get someone to team up with Latu, who they took last year in the first round, I mean you're dealing with C.J. Stroud, Trevor Lawrence, now Cam Ward. You're gonna need to attack the passer.
Another one I could see here is Jahad Campbell, who we haven't talked about.
Yeah.
I think he goes to Atlanta next.
He might, and we'll see what Tom does. I really like Jahad Campbell. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, and
it makes sense.
If we move into Atlanta here, I think, in an ideal where they go pass rusher, Mike Green, Michael Williams, who's on the board, Jahad Campbell. But this is a team that they made a splash last year with Penix. The roster is still kind of meh. They don't have many picks. They have 15, 46, 118, and 270.
Trade down?
They need to trade down. So the question is, who trades up, right? You're thinking of someone trading up, they need a quarterback.
Pittsburgh?
Right? Pittsburgh's at 21, dude, but if they're probably looking at the board here and saying, look, we got Arizona, Cincinnati, Seattle, Tampa Bay, Denver. We could just sit here, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, who's sitting behind Pittsburgh that needs a quarterback and has the draft capital to make a move and could make the biggest headline of the night? And that's the Cleveland Browns from pick 33, moving all the way up.
From
33 to 15.
This is why we brought him on.
Their AFC rival, Pittsburgh Steelers, who don't even have a quarterback as of this moment. jump in for Shedeur to team up with his best buddy Travis Hunter.
Cook.
We're talking. We're talking
Cook
from
for me, Tom.
33-15. Is it that
Cook,
big?
Thomas, Cook.
Is it that big of a jump? I don't think so. Cleveland. We're talking. They got
Cook.
They got picks 2, 33, 67, 94, 104,
Cook.
179.
Cook.
You can dip in the next year's draft capital.
Yes, sir.
If you really want Shedeur and you want to really ignite this fan base, that is the type of move Jimmy Haslam, Andrew Barry, Kevin Stefanski make, and it's not that far of a jump.
I love it.
We're talking 16, 17 spots. That's
doable.
That's your 33. That's your 67. That's a second next year, maybe a third or fourth to put it on the top. And
yes, sir.
That's your guy.
Cook.
You're not forced to trade for Kirk Cousins and take on that money. You don't have to take a shot with Milroe or Dart. If that's your guy and Shedeur.
Yeah.
He fits that offense.
Shedeur.
He is like Kirk. To me, Shedeur's Kirk Cousins. He's not special. He's not flashy. But darn it, he's going to make the right play every time.
Bro, he makes the right throws, bro.
Exactly.
Like, he makes
he's a pocket
the right
passer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why we have Tom on the podcast.
You watch Shedeur throw the football. He makes the right throws.
This is a really interesting.
Yeah.
He absolutely makes the right throws.
He goes to the right read almost every time.
Yes. Yeah. He does.
And he did it without a good old line at all.
He does. And he was running for his life half the time.
And now we have the Cleveland Browns here with Travis and Shedeur. You look at that offense. Maybe they bring Nick Chubb back. Maybe Nick Chubb. He has a little resurgence. He's full year recovery. You got Chubb in the backfield. You got Sanders under center. But he could also compete with someone if you want to compete with Flacco. Not just hand it to him. Mm-hmm. And then you got Travis on the outside.
Jerry Jeudy,
David Njoku. Stefanski calling the plays, managing the game. Now it's
along with that nasty defense.
That defense. That's
a team. That's a team that for the next 3 years could probably win 9-10 games.
Now that's an AFC North squad.
That's a squad to compete with Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Cincinnati.
Who's their RB1? Is it Jerome Ford right now? Is he their RB1?
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Them and Hunt was there, but I don't think they
didn't. No, he was in KC.
He re-signed with KC on a
That's right. I forgot he was with KC.
If we're talking about Shedeur Sanders for a second, look, I read all the news about him having bad interviews, and I'm sure you guys do, and I'm sure anybody watching this does. And I'm not going to deny it because I'm sure he comes off a little entitled because...
I mean, if my dad was Deion, I'd be having a little entitlement
bro,
too.
It's not even entitlement to me. It's just he's confident.
Yeah.
It's confident. And the guy can play football.
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest criticisms on the field is high completion percentage because he throws a lot of screen passes or gets sacked a lot because he takes unnecessary sacks. He does try to play hero ball. Understand it. That won't happen in the NFL. Maybe it will for a little, but Caleb Williams stopped playing hero ball toward the second half of the year.
Yeah.
And one more thing that I hate when people say it, Shedeur's passing stats are inflated because he got to throw it to Travis Hunter. What if Travis Hunter goes to the same place?
How about we look at his time to throw? His average time to throw, 3 seconds. That's
Jesus.
it. You don't even get that in the NFL, and they see NFL's quicker.
Yeah.
You get 4 seconds maybe in the NFL.
Yeah.
His turnover-worthy play rate also, 1.3%. That's third in all of college football. He doesn't turn the ball over. Like, he makes the right reads, but what I love about him most is what I really liked about McCarthy last year, his intermediate grade. He's not afraid to attack the middle of the field, and that's what every young quarterback is so scared of doing. And that's why I don't like, Cam Ward, Dart, these guys, where, they did it, but, they had, guys. Yeah. Shedeur really had nobody outside of Hunter. And Jimmy Horn.
Yeah, Jimmy Horn and Webster.
Yeah.
Where you didn't have guys that you felt confident with, but yet most quarterbacks in his situation would not have even tried to attack it. He's
Shedeur's going to go for it no matter where he is.
Oh, yeah.
No matter where he is, he's going to say, fuck it, we ball. Excuse the language, pod.
Yeah, I don't know. And then the anonymous coach came out the other day and was talking just a whole bunch of BS about Shedeur and his character and how he was stuck up in the interview and then he did it anonymously. Whoever the coach was did it. Put your name on that,
I hate when people do that.
Put your name on that.
They drag college players down trying to make the draft, and they're anonymous reports.
They're anonymous. Yeah. Put your name on
somebody, say I stand on
this. Put your name on it. That's just
because they know they're going to get fired from their job if they have a terrible take.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did Deion hurt his feelings? Deion must have hurt his feelings or something.
That's also my thing.
Hurt my feelings.
You got barbecue back there and you didn't invite me. But it's also with Shedeur. It's like his dad. You realize who his dad is?
Yeah.
Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
Do you know who Deion Sanders is?
Right.
Did you watch Deion Sanders in the 80s?
I think I've heard
Did you
this
see
guy.
who he was?
Just also the level of
You
pedigree
know who he was?
Like
Right.
the level of game. He wants to play the game.
Deion Sanders has been his whole that ever since he's been in the spotlight. Who Deion Sanders has been?
Right.
Come on now. So
All right. Let's go
moving on.
Cardinals. That was a great, by the way, great.
Yeah, no,
Cooked. You
honestly.
You cooked.
Love it.
Is it my turn for Cardinals?
Yeah.
Cardinals need a lot. I mean,
Yeah, they do.
it's like it's so weird to talk about it because Kyler is there, but Kyler also has been like up and down, up and down.
Yeah, exactly.
They need a receiver. I know that a lot of them have them picking a defensive player. They need a guy. They just need a guy. Like they had D-Hop, but they don't have
They
a
have Marvin
guy.
Harrison Jr. in year 2.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
Trey McBride.
That's true.
So,
but okay, apart from Marvin Harrison.
yeah.
Apart from Marvin Harrison, I mean like they need another guy.
yeah.
Like a one beat.
Yeah. In my opinion, the farther you go down the receiver list, it's like I don't know how
You keep
how-
getting the tough ones, dude. You keep getting the tough picks.
I know because they need all these. They don't even.
They need a line. They need a D line. They
I
need a
know.
receiver. They need a corner. I mean,
Exactly. So
the
it's
list
like,
goes on.
It depends on what they choose to address first, and I feel like they're gonna go defense first, but I'm gonna go with the receiver just because I'm drafting in this sense.
You talked to John Gannon in Arizona, or maybe you didn't, or it was
I did.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
him.
you talked again.
I did for about 30 seconds, and then he had to go. But
Wasn't he the one that like was on the TV and then was like, no?
Yeah, no.
He was nice about it, though.
yeah.
Well, he was nice about it, right?
No, his agent was a little rude, but he's like, "Oh, well, who are you with again?"
Oh no, that's
Yeah, we're like, "Yeah, I'm with AZ's."
You're with the Cardinals, buddy.
Yeah, student. He's like, "Oh, yeah, well, we'll let you know if we have time later."
Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah,
I would have said something like win first and then you come talk to me.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna go. Listen, I was really high on this player last year. They came back for another year. You guys might look at me and be like, I mean, he's not a bad player, but like taking him this high might be a risk, and I'm gonna swing for the fences here. I'm gonna go Luther Burden the third. I thought he
like
was.
it.
Boy.
I liked him last year. He was kind of he regressed a little bit this year. He's kind of a little lackluster because I thought he was gonna be
Yeah,
the
it
best.
was rough.
Yeah,
All of Mizzou regressed. Yeah.
yeah, so I feel like it's hard to take him, but at the same time, I watched him junior year and he's a monster. He's a dog too. He's like one of those guys that wants it. Like he wants to play. And so I think him, if he develops behind, I know Marvin Harrison's already got 2 years, right? Year. He just
1 year in the league, so he
1 year,
that's
yeah.
right.
Okay, 1
4
year.
with the player option.
Okay, so he has 1 year under his belt. You bring in Luther Burden III. You already have Kyler, who's really young. Gannon is young, relative to everyone else's age. I think if you bring him in, it'll be good. I was really debating between him and Ibuka, but I don't know how.
I don't know if they need a slot guy.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think Ibuka, but Luther Burden is a guy who wants to make plays. He wants to make the big play. And I think Kyler's a flashy guy, and I think he'll get along with him. Him and Marvin Harrison are flashy people. I think they can make it work. So I'm going Burden.
Burden's the guy I'm betting on in this wide receiver class this year. Like I actually, maybe this is a hot take. I think when you draft ends on Thursday, we're not even going to hear his name. That's definitely a hot take, probably.
No, it's not.
But like, I really feel like there's teams that are gonna have questions like, is he only a gadget guy?
Yeah.
What does his route tree look like? To me, I love him in man coverage. He's a baller. To me, he's a little beefed up Percy Harvin, Debo Samuel.
They said Stephon Diggs was some of his comp.
Diggs is an interesting. I like Diggs. Diggs reminds me a lot of Golden and Diggs. I like that comp a little
that's a good
bit.
comp.
But like Burden is like.
What'd they say for Golden?
He's like a little, he's like
They
a
say
beefed
Garrett
up,
Wilson for Golden.
Rondale Moore. We saw how Rondale Moore was in Arizona.
Yep.
He is a guy that I absolutely think where you put the ball in his hands, he could take it 70 yards to the house.
Oh, yeah.
You want him to go on a go route. He's going to be able to beat man coverage. He just needs to work in the film room, and he needs this pick here will also help Marvin. Marvin was seeing a historic amount of double teams that a rookie wide receivers ever faced. Like there's been no receiver that has ever gotten the respect that Marvin got immediately. So with this, McBride, Burden, Marvin, I mean, Kyler is going to cook. You got Connor in the backfield, Trey Who is it?
McBride?
No,
it was Trey Benson.
Trey Benson.
Running back. They got him. Offensive line you could argue, but I mean, I like the receiver, and I love Burden. He might be like my wide receiver too. Like I love Burden.
I don't think they're gonna select. I don't think they're gonna go receiver. I think they're gonna go like defensive line probably.
Yeah, the interior like a Walter Nolan.
I think that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
I could see that.
But I want them to go offense.
I like it.
Yeah. How much time do we have, by the way?
Oh, so will you check the?
We'll go a little
SD
faster
card?
in this back half. We're doing good though. Yeah, so let's go a little faster for this. But I mean, we went through a bunch of guys, so we'll be chilling.
Yeah, we got
all right.
Bengals here. 17
Bengals. What was that? Is that you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, they need an edge. Need some defensive line.
They need anything defense.
They need anything defense. Offense is perfectly fine. I think they'll go edge.
Mm-hmm. Trey Hendrickson's out probably too.
Yeah, I think Trey Hendrickson. I think we can rule that out. Yeah. I think he's gone for sure. I think that's kind of done. Just figuring out where he goes.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go Shamar Stewart, the edge from Cincinnati. I just like his size, 6'5", 267.
Yeah.
You got an edge guy like that with size. That's
6'6", 290. The guy could play inside. If you want to put him on the interior, you can play him outside.
Play him outside if he wants to. And yeah, so I'll go Shamar Stewart from Cincinnati.
I like that. 18, we got the Bucks.
No, 18 Seattle.
Oh, Seattle. Oh, there was a trade in this mock draft simulator. My bad, guys. Ooh, this is a tough one. Well, Seattle has their quarterback for the future. And Sam Darnold.
Oh, yeah.
At least for a year.
My future is graduating this program. Beyond that.
Ooh, did we do Jihad Campbell yet? No, we did not. Jihad Campbell, done. Yeah. Guy was a monster on the Alabama defense, which was fine. He was everywhere. He can rush the passer. Got through double teams like a freak.
Yeah.
I really like him here. Seattle needs defense. I think they have Cooper. Like they have Kupp. They have Jackson Smith and Jigba. They have Sam Darnold. They have Kenneth Walker.
Mm-hmm.
The other one I could see them going is Malachi Starks. But the Seahawks have such a young secondary that I do think they want someone that could quarterback this defense. And what's it called? Boy Mafe is a good pass rusher. They have some other ones. Let's go Jihad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, now this leaves me with the Bucks at 19. This is an interesting spot for the Bucks because I really don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
But with Todd Bowles, I feel like it's so bland. Like I could see them totally going with like a Mike Green, someone who's just a raw edge rusher,
right? That
you could team up with Hassan Reddick and stuff.
Yep. I forgot Hassan Reddick's there.
No, I think
that's crazy.
I don't know if they're gonna do this. They were rumored to really like Lewis Seen years back. That's who Minnesota wanted the jumper when they traded back. So I think they're going to want to take Malachi Starks here to team up with Anton Winfield in the secondary. Okay. I think it makes a lot of sense. You're going to be, you're in the NFC. It's quarterbacks, offensive receivers. Starks he's right there with Mason Graham, safest player in the draft. You know what you're getting. That's my dream pick for the Vikings, but I don't think he makes it to 24. So yeah, I'm going Malachi Starks, man. He's a franchise player, blue chip player. Him and Winfield, that's your secondary next 5-7 years.
Yeah.
You're loaded. You're set. You are good to go. So yeah, I'm going with Malachi Starks there.
Okay.
Then Broncos at 20. They need a few things. They need a running back and they need some defense. I'm gonna go on the defensive side and go defensive line and go Kenneth Grant. I think they need something to plug the defensive line. I think Kenneth Grant is really good. He's really good with Mason Graham at Michigan. Mm-hmm. Disruptive run defender. He can slip blocks. Like he's one of those guys that like. I know Mason Graham is better, but Kenneth Grant is up there with him in terms of like dogs on the defensive line. So I'm gonna go defense and say Kenneth Grant for the Broncos.
Gotcha.
All right, love him.
All right,
I like that.
Pittsburgh. I was gonna go Shadur right there, but with Tom's mastery of the Browns trading up, getting Shadur.
Congratulations to the Steelers! You won the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes.
Have fun, guys.
Good luck.
If that does happen, I think they might have to settle for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, they're set on offense to me. You work with Najee a little. I mean, Najee. It wasn't like Najee had an off year.
Yeah.
It's
just
gone
now.
It's just the year he had 2 years ago. It was just like.
Yeah, they got Warren still.
He had a very good year. And then that's also my thing is like you still have Warren, and then you sign DK. You got George Pickens there. You got Freiermuth. They literally only need a quarterback, and that's it. So I would maybe Shadur. They go young, go Jackson Dart maybe.
They could.
I wouldn't be opposed to that. I like Jackson Dart. Huh?
It makes sense.
I could see them moving back and then selecting Dart in the second round.
Jackson Dart.
Yeah, Steelers don't have a second round pick now. That's what makes this pick tough.
That's why I said I could see them trading down.
And then it's also like if Shadur's not, if I think what happens if Shadur's not there, they trade down.
Yeah.
Who trades up for that pick number 21?
We're talking about.
It's tough.
Kansas City. I mean, Kansas City's been rumored to want to move up for a tackle.
I could see Kansas City doing it. Baltimore could do it
because
I can really see any of these teams on Washington.
Houston and the Rams are both 100% probably targeting tackle.
Yeah,
they need the line. So
100%.
Are they going to move to 10 spots? Pittsburgh moves back. It's possible.
Yeah, they could.
I could see the Eagles finessing that spot.
Eagles could finesse that spot.
I really see them because we don't know Howie Roseman is a magician. So
Eagles could finesse that spot too.
I see it.
Especially with what they lost, honestly, I'm going to do that. I'm going to have the Eagles go finesse that spot right there at 21.
I like this.
And Pittsburgh moves down, with Shadur not being there. And I think they go...
I know. Let's hear it.
I think they go and get... They're going to get a defensive line guy.
Okay.
They're going to get a defensive line guy.
Another one? Oh, Pittsburgh or Philly?
Philly moves up from 32 to 21.
Another defensive line.
Yeah, that defense is
I mean, you lose Josh Sweat and you lose Milton Williams.
Do you want to hear a great one for that? After you, my bad.
I'm going to go Harmon from Oregon.
Okay, I like him. I like him.
He's a dog.
He is.
So I'm going to go Harmon.
You know what I think? I think real quickly here, I know AJ Brown wants to win. I think he also wants targets. And you know where I think he wants to go? The Patriots. And you know what I...
Can't see it.
No.
Because they got...
Not after winning that ring, no.
After all the money...
He wants targets. He doesn't want to stay.
He wants targets. If they didn't win that ring, I would be on board with this.
He got his ring.
No. He got his ring. I would say a sneaky spot if they did trade up, I would think, knowing they're shopping Dallas Goedert, it would be really interesting to see them add Colston Loveland to that offense.
Loveland.
Did we say Loveland yet?
No.
We didn't say Loveland yet?
That was my second option for the Browns.
Okay,
Broncos.
Okay, we didn't say Loveland yet?
No.
Okay, they might get Loveland then. If they trade up and get him.
Yeah, I mean, that's just because, they're a team that
I see that. And I've been hearing about the Dallas Goedert trade rumors, and they could do that.
That was my second
Loveland,
pick for the Broncos.
Brown, Saquon, Smith. I mean, they're built for now.
They'd be nasty.
And the future.
Loveland's gross, man.
Yeah,
they'd be nasty.
You're going Loveland?
Yeah, I'm gonna change it to Loveland. I like that. I like that one.
Okay. The Chargers at 22, I think they desperately need another pass catcher. Ladd McConkey's good. Quentin Johnson is fine. He's meh. They brought in a tight end in Tyler Conklin, especially if Colston Loveland's off the board here. I think they go with Matthew Golden. Golden was really good at Texas, over 1,000 yards. Has potential to be a great receiver in this league. Let Justin Herbert air it out.
Yeah.
Facts.
Packers. This is an interesting one.
Do you want to switch with me and go Minnesota?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that works. I'll do that.
Packers. Gross. I think the Packers need... No, they don't need a receiver. I mean, they need a...
Josh Jacobs said they did.
They need a guy, but they're not getting it this far in the draft.
Yeah.
They're probably going to go defense. Probably, I imagine, corner? Because I think I've heard that they might trade Jair Alexander.
Yeah,
so I'm going to go with corner. And I will go with... I'm going to go Benjamin Morrison from Notre Dame.
Okay.
I think he was a good... He's coming off an injury. Like, he had a hip surgery.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard for me to say that they're going to get him.
Yeah.
But I don't know who else they would pick up. I mean, Denzel Burke is there. Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace in the mom, but not the same guy. I'm just gonna say Benjamin Morrison because I don't know. I could see them go off. I could see them go defensive line too.
Yeah.
And if they go defensive line, then I could see them go Shamar Turner or something. Because I think they're gonna go with a guy that's not like that's like down in the leaderboards. Like who did they pick last year? They picked somebody that was like everyone was like, I don't know why they picked them. I can't even remember who it is.
Who, Green Bay?
Yeah.
Who did Green Bay get in the first round last year? I know they took Quay Walker, and that was interesting.
Jordan Morgan, tackle from Arizona.
Jordan Morgan, that's right. Yeah. They selected Jordan Morgan.
They had a really bad draft last year.
They did, and so I think they're gonna go Benjamin. Whatever. I'm gonna go. Benjamin.
That feels like a Packers pick.
That's what I'm saying. It feels like Benjamin Morrison is a Packer. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna go Benjamin Morrison.
Yeah. Seriously, we got Minnesota. Minnesota, I think, really is looking to move back. They only have 4 picks in the entire draft: the first, the third, and 2 fifths. Mm-hmm. So, like, I could also see them having a really hard time passing on Derek Harmon or Walter Nolan. But so I'm having to move back with Kansas City. I think Kansas City's going to move up for a tackle. You're going to want to jump the Texans. You're going to want to jump the Rams here. And this is the type of pick for the Chiefs that it's just like you're going to look back 5 years from now and be like, how the heck is this guy still on the board? And that's going to be Patrick Mahomes' blindside tackle for the next 10 years.
No, oh my God, I forgot he's still available.
Kelvin Banks Jr. from Texas.
Yeah.
This feels realistic. It could happen. And this is who, if I'm the Bears, this is who I
forget him.
Dude, didn't he win the Joe Moore, or didn't Texas win the Joe Moore Award?
I believe so.
Yeah.
He's going to go before 20.
Yeah, you would think, but there's some people that, he does have questions, some character issues.
We're severely underestimating the picks of offensive tackle with a lot of these players. A lot of these
tackle class.
Oh my God, we forgot about Kelvin Banks.
For sure.
Oh boy.
So, I mean, this is our nightmare for the Chiefs.
Before we want to go on, the SD card is at like 8 minutes.
We only have 8 picks left, so let's just rapid fire it.
All right.
Fired it.
Who's next?
You are. Texans.
Texans at 25.
Yeah.
I'm going to go... They're going to take offensive line for sure. Do they take Simmons? Or do they take Jackson? Both Ohio State guys.
Let's see here. Oh.
I think they go with...
Oh, man.
I think they go with Donovan Jackson from Ohio State.
Yeah, I like him.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, I think they go with Jackson from Ohio State.
Yeah, he's really good. If you're them, it's pretty tempting to team up Ibuka though with Stroud again.
Yeah, it is.
Team him up with Kirk, Nico.
It's just like it's with my thing.
Like it's tempting, right?
No, it is tempting, 100%. My thing is just like you already have Nico there.
Tackle's more of a need for sure.
Offensive tackle's just more of a need for them. I think they're content with what they have on offense.
Yeah.
As far as skilled positions go, so that's why I just think they go with offensive line for sure.
Yeah, I like that. CJ Stroud needs protection.
Yeah. Especially after getting rid of Tunzel.
LA, I think the Rams are set on offense with Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, Matthew Stafford, Kyron Williams.
Yeah.
I think after Jared Verse won Rookie of the Year last year, they still need someone on the other side. And I think with Sean McVay and the Rams just always being able to develop prospects on both sides of the ball.
Facts.
James Pierce Jr. He was a guy that was projected to go number 1 overall at the start of the year.
Just be there for the Lions, but yeah.
James Pierce Jr. I think he works perfect there. Him and Jared Verse, they'll get to the quarterback. And if James Pierce Jr. turns out to be what a lot of people think he can, he'll be a top 10 edge rusher. I'll leave it at that.
Ravens.
Bets.
See Ravens. This is interesting. I just need to see who their right tackle is here. Yeah.
Get Mark Andrews' new hands.
You heard what he said.
Yeah.
It was slippery.
It was slippery.
I wonder why it was slippery.
Yeah, no kidding.
Does snow melt? Idiot.
I'm going to go... This feels like a Ravens developmental pick that'll probably work out. And I'm going to go Mike Green from Marshall here.
Oh,
I like that. I like that.
It feels like it feels like a guy that, he's raw, but a team that they can team him up. I like it. Yeah, Roquan out there. Yeah, I'm going him. I like that one a lot.
All right.
Well, I was going to go Mike Green before you snatched him from me. So I'm going to go Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M. He's a good pass rusher.
Yeah.
All right.
Ooh, what if they got Jack Sawyer?
It feels a little rich, I think.
It does. I just feel like him and Hutchinson at the same time would be nasty. But
all right, Washington. Okay. Have we said Will yet? Who we put Will?
I put him fifth.
You put him
Jacksonville.
Okay. I'm gonna go Malachi Starks.
Starks went to Tampa.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. In this
Damn.
one, yeah.
Jeez. Okay. I'm gonna go Maxwell Hairston then from Kentucky.
All right.
That's a Detroit boy. He's from Detroit. Shout out Detroit. So Maxwell Hairston.
All right. Then that leaves you Buffalo.
Ooh, Buffalo. That's a tough one. I think they're pretty much set everywhere. Looking at the board, I sort of want to go best player available. And I think the Bills was what they have at the pass rush position. And you don't know what Von Miller is or how healthy he could stay. You have Ed Oliver. You have Greg Rousseau. I like them adding Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss. I like Walter Nolan. It's for them.
All right. This brings Minnesota. I think Minnesota's pretty comfortable here. I think they're going to be in a really tough position here to consider Greg Zabel to fill in at left guard. But an Marion Hampton is still available. I think that's very tempting. So I think Walter Nolan would have been the pick, but I'm gonna go with the guy that they already took, and we're gonna go Derek Harmon from Oregon.
Okay,
that's who
I'm gonna go with. I think even after signing Javon Hargrave, Jonathan Allen, you need some youth in there to rotate. I think Flores is gonna really like that.
Yeah.
Last pick, the Steelers.
I was tempted to go safety here just because there wasn't a lot on the board, and it's like everything else is kind of shook down a little bit. I'm gonna go safety, and I'm gonna say, there's a lot of good safeties because there's only one safety off the board so far. I'm just gonna say Xavier Watts at safety. I think it's a luxury pick. Yeah. I think they're either going to trade down or they're going to take a luxury pick and say, okay, we're just going to go defense heavy again because that's what the Steelers do.
Yeah,
and pick somebody
Watts
like that.
Is interesting because
especially since Minka Fitzpatrick might get traded. Yeah. Like I don't think he will, but he might. So get younger at the position, and you have Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah,
so it could be fun.
I also think it'd be really hard for Pittsburgh to really pass on a Marion Hampton there with that 5th-year option.
Yeah,
especially
with Najee Harris not there.
Because are you really going to give Jalen Warren?
But I think they're going to go for him in the second round.
They don't have a second-round pick though because of Metcalf. They traded.
Yeah. So they might trade down and then pick.
That's why it's tough.
That's what's tough.
They might trade down and pick Hampton, but for the sake of it, we'll just say Xavier Watts. Just because
I'm good with that. I love Watts. I think he's such a sleeper in this draft.
Yeah.
All right.
That is our mock draft.
That is all that we have for our NFL draft episode, mock draft. Make sure you run up socials as always, TikTok, YouTube Reels, Instagram. Thank our special guest,
thank you, Tom
Gorski, for coming on for draft party here. Comment
your team and who you would select.
Yeah. I like that. Comment, your team and who you'd select or who you want for who you want your team to draft. I guess this is coming out Thursday, so Thursday night.
All right. Hope y'all enjoy the draft. Hope y'all enjoy the episode. Episode 18 out.